From the great outdoors of Alabama comes the Bama Backroads podcast. Well, welcome back into episode 8 of Bama Backroads podcast. Once again, I'm back in the studio. My partner in crime, Lee Pitts, is in his humble abode in Cedar Bluff, Alabama. How's it going, Lee?
Low down gangsters. We're just hanging out. Man, we were sitting here. Been a good day on the water today. Just got in, got situated, sat down, and just gazing out upon the backwater side of, I guess you would say, the upper Coosa. So everything's going pretty good right now.
That's good. Always a beautiful view there. I thought about moving y'all out when I was there and moving me in.
Well, that's what Laura just said. I came in, I walked upstairs, I hung my bibs up, and this, even though it's been a beautiful day, it's still been a little chilly. But I came in, my dog was laying up here, and she hollered at me, said, "Where are we going to eat tonight?" I said, "I don't know. What's in the refrigerator?" And I don't think I got a warm reception to that. I'm not really sure, but I'm upstairs.
Yeah, I can see that. That's not going to go over well.
Because I know for a fact I've got a little bit of tenderloin marinating in a Ziploc that I know I'm gonna have a good supper. So if she's in, she's in. If she's not, it's gonna be, I don't know, Burger King, something. Well, McDonald's. I'm not sure.
You know, when y'all lived in that other house on the river before y'all built that one.
Yeah.
We had been fishing most of the day, and we got back to your place, and you went right in there and broke out some tenderloin and some vegetables. And I'm telling you, that was some of the best tenderloin I ever had.
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, around here we live like Hank Jr., man. Country boy can't survive. And that's what and she and I both are on the same page on that. I mean, we do a good job with that. Our fish, our deer meat, every now and then. I don't get to turkey hunt anymore, but my buddy's got a place that they have a lot of hunts, and some of these guys, they love turkey hunting, don't like to eat them, and so I'll get a breast every now and then.
Look, I have to apologize. I'd bring you some turkey meat, but I'm under the Turkey Jinx, and it just feels like I got one more shot at getting a turkey for 2023.
Is it still turkey season?
Yeah, till I think it's Monday.
Okay, I didn't know if you had 2 or 3 makeup days or something like that.
I wish. I'll need them. Look, I'll have to sneak out there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Look, we tried a new spot Sunday, and not to get off topic, but we tried a new spot Sunday. Waited till the rain stopped. Snuck out there. It was already daylight a little bit. Had a hen fly down over the top of us and into the field. And she sat out there and clucked for a little bit. And, and I'm thinking, well, she's doing the work for us. All we got to do is wait. But nothing.
Hang out, wait for him to come.
Yeah, she eventually wandered off and, sat there for about 5 hours. Nothing. Didn't hear anything. They're not gobbling. So we get up to leave, and where we are is on a power line cutover that runs the entire length of our club. You can see the Georgia line for miles in that power line cutover in our club in Alabama.
Oh, wow.
So once you top the highest point of that cutover, there's a road there that runs back out to the main road at our gate. So we get to the top of that, where the road is, and my buddy gets his binoculars out and looks the other direction, which is where we usually hunt, on the other end of that power line cutover. And he goes, "Oh, man." I said, "What?" He said, "Look." And I got the binoculars and looked, and right in the field I hunt normally, there's a bird just strutting away.
Well, see, that's when you guys, and I, before I say this, I'm not a turkey hunter, but that's when you guys just kind of jump camp and you break out in the sprint, get up in the wood line, and you run that 400 or 500 yards.
It was about 600.
Okay, yeah. Well, just kick the last turn, kick it in. Okay, and you run all that, and then just ease in real quiet, like you feathered down, and you just sit in on it.
Yeah. That's a good plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's about how people tell me on my fishing. Well, all you got to do is just roll up in here and just set up where they're on the secondary points, and let's just go to jerking.
Because on March 3rd of every year, they're on the secondary board.
Yeah, they're here on this stuff.
That's perfect, man. That's why is this so hard?
Okay. I got to tell you one right here. Got to tell you this. That's how theoretically that's how you should do it. On paper, you could diagram that. You bust just don't run, but about a 5.2 40 constantly. You know, don't try to get that 4.8, 4.6. You just run a 5.2 and just get up there and then sit down real soft. That's like, I got in a predicament this year deer hunting. And sometimes, it's just like in fishing, you try to overthink something, you try to look at it, here's what we're going to do. And so I'm up in the tree stand. I said, man, if I could back this up 15 feet to this other oak, I'm not going to get busted because I'm tucked back in. The leaves are falling. What I'm going to do is climb up in there and just easily unratchet this stand, undo it, climb down, back it off by myself. It was midday, so I'm trying to do all this in that 12 to 1 o'clock range.
Right.
So I'm up there, and my dog went with me. We eased back there on some property that I've got. He's sitting over there by the four-wheeler, just laying down while I do this. And I get up there, and I'm having some difficulty with the ratchet strap. So finally, when I get it loosened up, it's a 16-foot ladder stand. I've got my knees where your feet are, my elbows where your seat, where you would sit down with your hind end.
Right.
And I'm got my arms around the tree because I'm trying to unratchet it. So I'm giving you a visual of what's going on here. Finally, I prise the eye hook loose from the stand. When I do, my middle strap is too tight, so it's kicking me off the tree. So I've got the eye hook in my trigger finger in my right hand. My left arm is around the tree holding it. If I let go of it, I'm coming off the tree. If I I can't get enough tension to get the S hook back into the stand. So make a long story short, I'm thinking I'm going to let go of it real fast, grab the ladder, do like a fireman, put my legs around the stand, slide down, and by the time this is all done, I'll be halfway down the tree and on the ground before it falls over. That looks amazing on paper. Okay? On paper, that is the way NASA would do this.
Right.
You let go of that S hook, and it does like a fly flap, and it flaps you out to the other bungee catches. I was in the air, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I should have hit the ground by now. When I finally I hit on my feet, twist my knee. When I hit, I knocked the breath out of myself.
Oh my God.
I've had some issues in the last few years, so I'm thinking I have exploded all in the woods. Just, everything that I've had these surgeries, it's just exploded. So I finally get, after about 3 minutes, my breath back. I roll over on all fours. I'm looking. My dog has climbed up on my four-wheeler, and he has straddled my seat, looking at me, shaking his head. And I thought, note to self, don't do that by yourself again. And I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but I did. So anyway,
look, I knew where this was going. I started giggling and I couldn't stop.
I'm just saying, when things look
and
like
I knew
that
where
is
that was
the way
going.
to do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think most hunters, well, I shouldn't say most. Most are probably smarter than me. But when you forget to attach your the top of your climber to the bottom, and you're climbing, and all of a sudden the bottom goes blue, 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 and it's way down there, and you're way up there.
Yeah. Oh
That is
yeah.
a bad feeling.
That's like the old saying, you'll know when the bottom falls out.
Yes,
Yep.
that's man. That yeah,
Yep, you
that
will.
saying was made for people that climb with a climber.
Oh yeah. And it'll do it in a heartbeat too.
All right, let's get into the this week's fishing report. How's the fishing going? Where have you been fishing? And are you catching any?
Man, oh, okay. Here we go. And everybody knows that what you get with us is what's going on. We're not sugarcoating anything. We're not gonna. Oh man, come on up here. It's sunny and 75 all the time. It's not. And right now, our Weiss Lake and Neely, it's nothing to say about the fisheries at all. It's the time of year. Our bass fishing, our crappie fishing, everything's kind of in that lull. It's about to bust wide open. I mean, it's coming. It's about to bust wide open. But the bass, we got a full moon right now. Full moon through the weekend. We got rain, hard thunderstorms coming in Saturday. Little plug right now. If you want to be around a lot of fishing and want to talk a lot of fishing and be around a lot of cool stuff, it's going to be terrible this weekend. Go to Bucks Island. It's Fish Fest. So I just want to tell you, go to Bucks Island, Fish Fest. Man, you can eat. They got hot dogs, hamburgers, all kind of stuff to eat. They got all kind of all the top pros are coming. You know, you got Matt Herron, you got Scott Canterbury, you got John Cruz, you got all these guys. All these guys are coming. If you want to take a break from fishing because it's kind of tough right now, go to Bucks Island.
Now, where's this going to be at?
This will be at the new Bucks Island in Southside. We'll start at 10 to 4. They've got, and tomorrow, some of you guys that don't have anything to do tomorrow, they're giving boat rides. They've got Falcon, they've got Skeeter, and bringing the Avid boat up there too. So come check it out, man. These guys, they're giving boat rides. If you're looking at, even if you're thinking about buying a new boat or looking at one or just want to go for a boat ride, man, come check them out.
Well, if I show up with a couple of rods and a pack of crackers and a Coke and some my tackle box, will they still take me on a ride?
That you may not get to cast a lot, but they'll take you for a ride.
Look, I just go, hey, pull over right here.
Yeah, let me check this spot.
You see that windy bank over there where all the shad are being pushed up? Pull over there. I want to see how it runs to over there.
Well, I will say, if you do that, tell me where that windy bank is with the shad pushed up.
Wait, man, I'm sorry, but I don't tell fishing secrets.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it's one of those things. You can still catch some fish right now, and it's about to turn. The bass are, they're, what I call it is just that they're in that post-frontal funk. They're not doing a whole lot. They don't want to chase anything. If something flutters down in front of their face, they'll pick it up. But we got about another week of that, and I think these fish are really going to turn on the Coosa. I think the Tennessee River has been a little ahead of us. They went through this already early, and now they're coming through it, and the fish are really biting good. I think we're a week away from it being really good here.
Well, it doesn't help. The wind was blowing like 35 miles an hour this week.
Ooh, I was like Ernest T. Bass. I was right there in it.
Well, when I went over the river yesterday, there's whitecapping out there going towards the city ramp.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been, and out in front of my house. I mean, Chris, you know where I am. I'm right on the main Coosa River, coming out of Georgia. So we're coming down into Weiss Lake. But when you get that south wind, and especially a southwest wind coming against that current, and it's flowing and it necks down, it looked like one of those, I guess you would say, Point Mallard wave pool out there.
Yeah.
I saw one boat yesterday come through here and come through the main channel, and I honestly felt sorry for them. It was a ski boat, you know, which is they're great for what they're used for, but this was a smaller ski boat. That these waves with the wind against it, there were some really 3.5 footers out there.
Yeah,
and they were thrill seekers. So that's about all I'll say. And that's about all I'll say about that.
Well, there's about to sink there, Jenna.
Yeah, the Jenna was almost lost, like the minnow.
So this week's fishing report really is about, hey, let's go fishing next week.
Well, no. I'm gonna say, you know, there's some weather issues. We're expecting, and you know how I say when I'm expecting, we're expecting starting tomorrow, some wind, some rain, and Saturday I think is going to be kind of a washout from what they're saying. But I don't want to tell you know if there's some younger guys out there and Daddy's promised them to go fishing Saturday. And they said, well, Lee said it's going to rain, and all of a sudden they're sitting in the yard raking leaves. I don't want to be that man they're mad at.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So you never know, but
this is Alabama.
If you do get rained out and you see rain, come to Fish Fest.
That's the Rick and Bubba shameless plug right there.
Yeah, got to slide it in.
That's right. Well, we did get a few questions this week. I picked two. We got more than two, but I picked two, and I picked one because it kind of goes along with what we've already talked about.
Hey, I had some guys call me earlier too, and they were wanting to kind of get on to me about something, but they asked, how do they go about getting in to send questions to us?
Okay. Yeah. The email is thebackroadsinfo@gmail.com. That's the backroadsinfo@gmail.com.
Yeah, and I got lucky that they couldn't get in.
Well, tell them to email us, and we'll get them on next week. Be sure to tell us what their name is.
Yeah.
Name and city or state where they're from would be good. All right. Question one is, well, both questions are for you, and 90% of them will be. Unless they're my question. Hey, Chris, have you found your replacement yet?
Are you talking about me?
No, me.
Oh, I thought, okay. I was saying, man, I didn't know I was fired. Thanks a lot.
All right. Question one comes from Jackson in Boaz, Alabama. Says, Lee, what is your best approach to fish a windy day?
You know, when you got those days like that, well, you know it's going to be windy and you know it's going to be brutal. I like to have a bait that I can keep contact with. You know, it's almost you can throw it out the window to throw a weightless Cinco or a 1/4 ounce lizard or a creature bait on something. You got to have something that you can keep a little bit of contact with, whether it be early in the season a spinner bait or a shallow running crankbait or something like that. You may have to go to a heavier jig that wind and current doesn't blow you around some, because you want to keep contact with these baits. But the thing that I would look at is try to find your more protective areas. Try to find some areas you can that maybe have some deeper pockets out of that wind. Even though it's a wind-blown bank, look for the little pockets or the indentions that you can still control that bait and still have some good feel. And then that way you're not just being unproductive.
Gotcha. All right, you ready for question 2?
Got it.
Okay.
I'm on it.
This comes from Luke. Luke didn't say which city he lived in. It says, Lee Pitts, I'm looking for a good fishing line. What would you recommend, and what pound test for fishing the Coosa?
Okay, well that kind of opens the door to a whole lot of things. And right now, really, there are so many wonderful bait, line companies out there. Um, Fishing line has come a long, long way. When I first started, you had String Clear Blue, and what you had a choice. You had String Clear Blue, 12, 10, or 14-pound test, and that's about all you use. Now you got with your Vicious, Gamma, Sunline, all of these different companies. Even now, you take your String again, Suffix, and things like that. Everybody has and I'm trying to say it because I don't know the right lingo to use for this, but the fishing line industry has come so far that all of them is just really, really putting out great products. So I can't choose anything over another. I like some lines that may have more like a monofilament or a fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon on my deeper jigs, offshore stuff, things like that. I like it for the feel when I don't want to use braid. My braided lines is what I'm going to flip with. And I'll use a heavy braid because you don't have to disguise that line quite as much. But on my jigs, my creature baits flipping and swimming the jig and a frog. And then also I'm going to go to with a jerk bait. I don't like a fluorocarbon as much on a jerk bait because a fluorocarbon is going to sink on you. So you want something that's going to kind of hold up. And then even with top water, if you're throwing a spook, pop R, some kind of walking bait or something like that, you don't want fluorocarbon because it's going to sink on you and pull the nose down. So really that opens us up to a whole another spectrum that a lot of people just say what line and what do I throw with it. But you got to decide what you're going to use, what you're doing with it, what scenario that you're going to be going with, because that way it's more of a technical answer, I guess I'd say.
Have you tried, and I know Vicious has put this out, and I know other line companies have picked up on it as well, the copolymer?
Yeah, I have. And it's it's a good line. I like that. It's I know a lot of them are going to that. It does not have quite the stretch as monofilament does, and that's one of the things you can look for. And that's another thing people have to realize: monofilament line has a lot of stretch. And I learned this by, I'll just give you a scenario. Me trolling, and then the back of my boat, front of my boat, we're in shallow water, we're trolling, going over structure. There's a lot of times you'll get hung up, and those rods are so light. I'm not saying limber; they're just light. They'll bend before you know it, and you don't realize you're hung. But in the back rods, where they're angled straight out, kind of like you would, not straight up and down, but at a 90.
Mm-hmm.
When you hang up on those and that boat's moving, the jig's hung, the line straightens out, the line gets taut, and then as you stretch that monofilament, when it runs out of stretch, that rod will shoot out of there like a rocket. I mean, it may jump 15 yards out of the boat back there.
Gone.
So that's what people don't realize, the stretch you have in that monofilament versus your braid and your fluorocarbon.
Right.
So, that's something else you need to think about.
So do you recommend I'm trying to think of scenarios between the crappie. Now, let's talk crappie line for a second. Now you're bringing up.
Okay.
Uh, I I know what you used to use. I'm not sure what you're using now, so I won't bring
I'm
it up.
I'm still with Vicious.
Okay.
I'm running Vicious, yeah, and
Okay.
that's what I run. All my crappie, and I'll tell you right now, I run a high vis on everything. I like that high vis yellow. Uh, 4, 6, 8, 10. I even go to 12-pound test in the fall when I'm vertical. And once again, we'll do a whole segment just on on fishing lines and what each one has to offer. But and I'll tell you, I can tell you my reasoning behind the 4, the 6, the 8, and even going up to the 12 through there. So we'll hit it later. But I'm a vicious guy.
Yeah, that's a really good line. Um, okay. Well, I hope that answers your question, Luke. If you have another question, don't hesitate to email us. And Jackson, we appreciate you taking the time to email us as well. Right now, we're going to take a deep dive into the Lee Pitts tackle box. And so it's just started, kicked off May. So, Lee, what are your go-to baits? And you don't have to tell us what you actually throw up because you're still a tournament man.
Well, it's one of those things right now. My Bobby Garlands are still, they're still starters for me right now, and they're still going good. The new Cajun cricket and the mayfly right now. Color of the week, Cajun cricket mayfly. It's been pretty good from me. So
this
anyway,
segment is brought to you by Bobby Garland Crappie Baits.
Yes, it is. It's a new bait that they just designed. It's just come out this year, and it's a little bit bigger profile. But this time of year is something I can slow down with 132nd zone, especially with my dock shooting. The Cajun cricket has been the color of the week. And also a June bug and chartreuse has been real good for me. So that's the two colors that I've really been, and I think it's more with watercolor, with the wind, the stir, and just something they can kind of pinpoint this a little bit better.
I guess.
So that changes weekly, daily. But the color of the week this week, like I said, that's black chartreuse and Cajun cricket.
Cajun cricket. Do that one more time.
Cajun cricket.
Well, if you don't remember Cajun cricket now, you never will.
Isn't that what the Cajuns do?
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, you're going to yeah.
Look, I'm emailing Bobby Garland when we get off here, and say, look, if y'all want to promote that Cajun cricket, I got something. Yeah. I got something you need to hear. All right, for bass fishing for May, what are some go-to baits on the Coosa in Alabama, which is where we are? What's your go-to for May?
Well, normally this time of year it'd be a spinnerbait, a jig. For me, spinnerbait, jig, buzzbait. Buzzbait's still kind of strong right now, but we're having a little bit of issues with the weather. The last week, man, we've had some 30s at night, and it's been cold. The water temperature dropped down from when we were 2 weeks ago at 71. Right there, we're back at 63, 64 now. So some of these fish have kind of they've slowed down a little bit. They're kind of lethargic. They're not doing a whole lot. A black trickworm has been good on the Coosa. A trickworm, a frog, but not like you guys are used to throwing a frog. I mean, I'm a power fisherman. I want to pitch it in there and pop, 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 come on through and let's reel it in and go again. The majority of the bites I've had in the last 2 weeks on a frog has been sitting still. Pop it twice, let it sit there, don't move it. And how I figured this out, me and a buddy of mine were down at Neely and we were fishing, and I said, man, I cannot get a frog bite. I don't know what's going on. I'm popping it. I walk it through that grass. I walk it. I come off the edge about 1.5 feet, 2 foot, and pop it 3 times and stop. And I turned around and talked to him. I said, man, I'm fed up with this. I can't take this no more.
You just gonna chunk your rod into the water?
Yeah, I mean, this is not right. I'm sick of it. I can't take it. But what it was, it's you got to figure out the cadence that these fish wanted. And I think so many of these fish are still in that funk. They're right out. They're still bedding a little. They're coming off the bed. They don't want to eat nothing. But when that frog pops out through there and they're eyeballing it, and it sits still for 5 seconds, they can't stand it. They got to come and eat it. So that tells me they're there. The fish are there. They're doing their thing, but the weather conditions, we're wanting something else.
Right. Well, see, I'm the same way. I throw it up in there and I pop, 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 and then they don't hit it. I'm moving on.
Come on back in. Let's go again.
That's right. Yeah.
But I think a lot of it, I think they're paying more attention to some of these baits, and I think that's why they're liking the finesse stuff. And I don't know if I should say it or not because anyway, yeah, I mean it's no secret, but a buddy of mine, he's throwing a brush hog weightless with a swivel on it.
Yeah,
he's putting a swivel about 4 or 5 inches up from it, just enough to nose it. And he's pitching this stuff, and what it is with that brush hog, it's got enough to twist those little tails, but it's still a slow, lethargic fall, and all they got to do is suck it up.
Now,
so,
does he listen to this show?
Yeah. Sorry, Bobby. Sorry, buddy. Call me sometime.
Well, you might not get a phone call.
Sorry.
For a little
you shouldn't tell me stuff like that, man. You know I can't keep a secret. Don't tell me important things. So, sorry. Everybody's going to find out anyway, man. Come on.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, they see what you got on the front deck.
Just buy him a beer. He'll be all right.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, I kind of slid into that one.
Well, that, you know what, man, that's just the fishing community. It's, look, I hear it almost every day. I'm not telling anybody where I fish. 10 minutes later, man, you got to go fish that rock wall, man. That's where they're at. And I'm like, yeah. That's just
I'm gonna tell you something. It's kind of like on Talladega Nights race car stuff and everything.
Here we go.
You go into a new town, you go in there, go to the local watering hole to hang out, come in there with your stuff on, just sit down a little bit. It won't be 5 minutes, man. Y'all down here fishing a tournament? Yeah. Well, we fish here all the time. I said, oh, okay. It won't be 5 minutes to telling you everything. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what we're doing right now, blah, 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 blah. Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Look, that's funny because you remember the place called The Fisherman up in Southside? It was
yes.
Man, it was great. Back in the day, pre-COVID, it was spot on. That was my go-to. They're closed now, actually. COVID killed them.
COVID kills.
But yeah, years ago, me and a buddy of mine were sitting in there eating a delicious blackened steak. It makes my mouth water thinking about it. They had the best blackened steak anywhere. And yes, it was at a seafood place.
Oh, man.
So we're sitting there eating, and a woman walks up to us. And because we'd actually just got off the water, so when we came up there, we had the boat on back of the truck. And she goes, "That's y'all's boat out there?" "Yes, ma'am." How often do y'all fish around here?" "Every chance we get. If we're not working, we're fishing." "Y'all mind if I sit with y'all?" And I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. We're both married, and this could be trouble, but
I got the situation.
So we don't want to say, we don't want to be rude. We're from Alabama, man.
Will get that. Some people will get that right there.
So we said, sure, pull up a chair. So she sat down there with us, and this is Robin Babb, and the what is they call the Lady Bassmasters were going to be at Neely Henry
Yes.
in a few weeks. So she was down pre-fishing, had no idea where to go, what to do. She'd never been on the water. So, being gentlemen, we took her out.
No, being a proper bassing man.
Yeah, bassing man, gentleman.
Yeah, being a proper bassing man.
Yeah, we took her out and showed her some spots and just did what we should do for to help our female anglers out. And look, they had something. I probably shouldn't say that. There was one. I'm just gonna say it. There was one that was pre-fishing that day too, and she was pre-fishing in a bikini, and I didn't really catch too many more fish after that. I wish she'd have never.
If she was catching them, I might put me one on. Next time I
go. I don't know if she was catching them or not, but did it really matter?
If you catch them, I'm getting me one.
Yeah, but to me, it didn't really matter. That wasn't my question.
Oh.
No, yeah, I might get in trouble for that, but it'll be all right. Well, Lee, once again, I appreciate your time.
I'm sorry. I couldn't understand English there for a little while. What were you saying?
You had the bikini on your mind, didn't you?
No, I just want to make sure I wasn't part of that.
Thanks, buddy. I thought we were a team.
Anything I can do to help out, man. I just want to make sure.
Wow.
I have no legal. No, I was not part of that.
Do I need to send you some kind of
waiver
so that so I can?
No, really, no. I didn't hear. I was coming downstairs. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna remember that, Pitts. But look, anyway, the gist of the story is it's amazing where you'll run into other fishermen that that pick your brain for information, because that's what it's all about. I mean,
oh yeah,
because that back then that was before the side image and sonar and all that stuff they have today. That's when you had to have some lake knowledge. But it was a good day.
Oh yeah. That's when the old timers that knew were off of this point right here. There's 4 stumps.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, all right.
And I was fishing in the back of the boat, and I caught a 7-pounder.
Wow. Oh man.
So she said, maybe you should be up here with me. It made my buddy mad, but he'll get it.
but okay.
He got over it.
Oh man.
Well, Lee, I know you're tired. I know you got a long day tomorrow. And once again, I appreciate your time, and thanks for all your information, all your funny jokes, and throwing me under the bus.
No, I'm really spiritually, I'm with you.
Yeah. Silent.
But
that spiritual
right now, I can't sign my name to you because our wives have their own. What am I saying? What am I trying to say? I can't cross lines on that.
Yeah, don't cross the streams.
Yeah, I can't go across the picket line on that one.
I hear you. Well, see, my wife doesn't listen to this show, but I know yours does.
Oh, okay. Well, man, I was right there with you. I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, really? No, really. I thought I was just following your lead, but no, I was right there with you on that one.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. Sounds good. Talk to you later.
I'll see you next week.
See you.
Guys, thanks again for listening. Hope you got some good information. Once again, if you want to ask Lee a question, it's the backroadsinfo@gmail.com. If you would like to ask Lee a question, make a comment, we'd appreciate any input. Please like or follow on wherever you're listening to the show. And tight lines, everybody. And we'll talk to y'all next week.